One of the attendees at Saturday's memorial service for John McCain here in Washington was Ohio Republican Governor John Kasich. He joins me here. Thank you for coming in. I know you were there at the memorial service, something that Senator McCain thought through, he planned, really? He orchestrated every little bit of it. What do you think his message was?
Come together, have guts, stand up. You know, I mean, that's the thing about John. John was so comfortable with himself. Leaders walk a lonely road, and John did not like people that did this, put their finger in the air and get the wind. He was so comfortable with himself, and it really didn't matter to him who he was going to have to take on or what cause he was going to go for. If he felt it in his bones, in his heart, and in his soul, then he went forward. And I think that was the message.
Meghan McCain, his daughter, delivered a really
She made me cry.
She made you cry?
She made me cry for two reasons. One was the deep love she had for her father. And you know the other thing that made me cry? The deep love that sometimes girls have for their daddies. And I've got two little girls that are not little anymore. They're in college. And it just brought everything home. She was just incredible. And
she was her father's daughter. She was strong in her words.
Well,
and it was clear who she was speaking about.
John McCain, no matter what position he took, always figured out a way to build a bridge. And now we have a leader who is either unable or unwilling to unite the country. And at the same time, to be able to use the strength of America, whether it's the economic, whether it's the military, or the political strength, to make the world a better place, to use our leadership to raise the bar, to get to a better place in the world. And these are the things that frustrated John, that we were not unified.
Is there another Republican like John McCain? I mean, because many of your fellow Republicans, many of them sitting there at that service would say, yes, the president may be a flawed individual, but he's a flawed vessel for an agenda that we like, whether it's tax reform or getting more conservative judges on courts throughout the country, including the Supreme Court. Yeah. So it's all excusable. Yeah. It's a transaction.
Yeah, but it is not a transaction. And, you know, today we look for politicians that not only understand the issues, but also can engage in a bit of poetry, can bring us together.
Who is that?
Well, right, I don't think that's the time to project who that is, but I will tell you, family separation is not American value at the border. It isn't. The idea we're going to deport these people, that's not, to me, American value. Bringing up massive debt, and we like the tax cut, but there was no tax reform. It was a problem. And trying to strip health care away from 20 million Americans. It seems as though we have been backing a lot of people into a corner, using our power, our economic power, to get what we want. And in the short run, we might win. But think about somebody who's powerful, somebody who's rich, who forces you to do things that you bitterly resent. There are better ways to get it done without having to use your power to extract what you want. Sometimes you got to be tough as nails. McCain was, I am. But at the end, most of the time, it's persuasion. It's seeking the better angels in life that allow us to be more successful than just pounding on people.
As John McCain's longtime aide Mark Salter said, sometimes he questions, do you need to kill the party of Trump to save the party of Lincoln? Is that where we are?
We're in a tug of war. And I understand the difficulties that people have, but the party is worth fighting for.
And yet this week we saw some primaries in Florida and Arizona where those running on the Republican ticket seem to have to pass a test, a loyalty test to Trumpism. And that kind of contradicts some of the conservative party you're describing.
Fortunately, our party is shrinking. We're now down to about 25%. It's all becoming like a remnant. Now, parties go through this, but the party has shrunk. And in my state, and in my community, and in my district, we had a congressional race that the Republican who took my place was able to win by 17 points. Just a couple weeks ago, he won by the skin of his teeth. And I talked to him the other day. I'm proud of him. He's saying that the tariffs are a bad idea. He's also beginning to say, you know what he said? He said, turn off the television. Don't listen to all the talk television and let us get together as Americans. I was proud of him.
President Trump endorsed him as well.
I did because I worked with him in the legislature, and I saw him during the campaign articulate some views that I hope were going to be independent. But there are Republicans I'm not campaigning for. I just won't do it, because if you're a divider And if you can't see the fact that we need to unify people, then I can't be for you. I mean, nothing personal. I just can't help you.
Will you campaign for Balderson in November when he has
I don't think it'll be a problem. I mean, he's off to a good start, and the district is so overwhelmingly Republican. That was what's so shocking about the closeness of the race. He's going to be fine. But there's so many other places where Democrats will use their resources. And by the way, they need to get their act together. You know, we spend so much time talking about how lost the Republicans are, but you think about the Democratic Party moving farther and farther to the left. That's not, our country is center right or center left. It's not on the extremes. Your political party shouldn't matter so much. Vote for the person.
If you were to run yourself in 2020, as many are saying you might, you would still run as a Republican, not as an independent, not as another voice out there.
I am
the party's
a
worth
Republican.
saving, you're saying.
Well, I'm going to do my level best. But at the end, I worry about my country. I worry about my country being a great leader in the world, not more conflict, which can lead to, let's not even go there. I want my country, where the people that live in this country, whoever they are, to feel as though they have a hope, they're respected, and they can be successful. That, to me, is what it is really all about.
Last question. You knelt in front of John McCain's coffin at the Capitol. What were you thinking?
Well, I had a word with John. I said, John, you remember I called you when you were sick, and I asked you if you were okay with the big guy. And I said, John, I'll see you up there someday. Keep a place open for me, would you? And I got up and left.
Governor, thank you.
Thank you.